If you're like me, you probably have a pretty large DVD collection full of your favorite movies and TV series. I've got an extensive library at home, but now what happens if I want to watch my copy of The Office on my iPod? Or say I want to take my entire movie collection and store it on a media server in my house? Well, there's a lot of controversy about DVD copying. What's right and what's wrong? Well, I don't think this show is really the proper forum to address all of the legal issues, as they're pretty obscure and changing. Suffice to say that Hollywood is justifiably concerned with piracy, and they've done everything they can to discourage us from doing it. In the process, they've managed to make it difficult for us to back up our movies or to move them into different formats. So the first hurdle that you face in dealing with media is Hollywood DVDs and episodic DVDs are what's called an authored media. In other words, there's the raw video data on the DVD, the movie itself and the soundtrack and the different languages, the special features. But then there's an authored interface that sits on top of all of that data. The interface gives us the menu options to navigate through the scenes with chapter markers, to select special features, to add subtitles, or to listen in different languages. The authoring tells the DVD player how to play the video, depending on what settings you put in. Without it, you just start playing your video in a linear form like a videotape, and there'd be no navigation controls. Your special features would immediately follow your movie. You wouldn't be able to select your language or your scenes. So you see how important the authoring is to your DVD. So we need a fairly advanced piece of software that looks at the entire DVD and makes a copy that has the same navigation information for the DVD player to use. It's actually fairly sophisticated. Now, I'm going to show you the process with one of our Dotto DVDs because we have copyright for them and we don't add any copyright protection to our DVDs. I'm not too worried about piracy, so you can back up our DVDs and move them onto any device that you choose. So we're ready to start backing up. I've already put the first episodes of Dotto in the DVD drive in the computer, and now I'm going to launch a piece of software I found on the internet called 1Click DVD Copy Pro. There's lots of different pieces of software out there that will copy your DVDs. All of them seem to do a pretty good job. But we actually have to interact a fair bit with the software. We've got a lot of decisions to make, and the decisions are going to depend on the type of DVD we're copying and our hardware configuration. To start with, I've got multiple drives in this particular computer, so I could actually copy from one DVD to another DVD burner directly on this computer. In a lot of cases, though, people are only going to have a single drive on their computer. In that case, what they have to do is they have to go from their source DVD here to a folder on their computer, on their hard drive. And they have to make it a two-step process where they back up the movie onto their computer and then they burn it back onto blank media that they put in the drive after they've removed the original movie. Now, one thing you're going to notice right away with all of this stuff is there's going to be no real easy to understand names. That's the name of our DVD as far as the computer's concerned. It's never going to have normal English names like Dotto Episode 1. So you're going to have to kind of decipher it as you work your way through. The next thing that you're going to have to decide is, again, depending on the type of hardware that you're doing and depending on the media that you're copying, is whether or not you can move the entire DVD over onto a copy disc or just part of it. You might not have room to move the entire Hollywood DVD over. In that case, you have to decide what's important to you. Having everything in a lower quality format so you compress the whole DVD so it fits, and you make that selection here if you want to move everything over with compression, or if you want to throw some things out. I only want the featured movie with only the English soundtrack, or I want the feature and the extras and I'm willing to compress it a little bit. You make those decisions before you start the copying process. Once you've done that, you can then copy the DVD onto your hard drive and then move it into whatever other format you want. Now, in this particular case, I've gone one step further, and I've actually said I'm going to select which individual episodes of the show I want to copy. And once again, they're not named Episode 1, Episode 2, but they're all here available. I can just check mark the ones that I want to copy. Once I'm all done with that, I click Start, and now the software will copy the video content and the related audio content and everything else that I want into a folder that I can start to work with it in. Now, I know that you're waiting for me to discuss the whole copy protection issue, because what I've shown you so far only works on non-copy protected DVDs. Well, there are several ways to copy encrypted discs, and the process involves downloading a DVD decryptor. A quick search on Google is going to bring up several decryptors, some of which are free and others are commercial. You download the decryptor, it runs in the background along with the copying software to ensure that you're making an accurate copy of the DVD. Now, some DVD copying software includes a decryptor, this one doesn't. The encryption of DVDs puts us all in a bit of a dilemma. If you're not a pirate, but you merely want to protect your DVD investment, you have to decide if you're willing to bypass the encryption on a DVD. It's not technically difficult to do, but ethically, it's your choice to make. When we return, one more copying option for you, converting your movies for portable playback on media players.